Drug company to face first opioid trial in Oklahoma as families of the D3ad seek recompense. Gail Box will be following the trial closely, but she won't be at the courthouse in Norman, the city where she last spent time with her son Austin in May 2011, when he graduated from the University of Oklahoma. 5 days later, "I just cannot go there," she said of the town where her son played middle linebacker for the Sooners. "It is too painful." Box is convinced that a stiff financial penalty against drug companies will provide accountability for her son's death, as well as providing the treatment and other services substance users need. "It's not going to mend my broken heart," she said. "It's not going to. Much has changed since Oklahoma Attorney General Mike Hunter sued 3 drug companies and their subsidiaries 23 months ago, alleging they are responsible for the opioid scourge. During 2 years of pre-trial battles, the number of people who have lost loved ones to opioid overdoses or seen lives ruined by addiction has steadily grown larger. In Oklahoma, it's a club nobody wanted to join," said Bill Guy, 69, an Oklahoma teachers union organizer whose 34-year-old son, Chris, died of a heroin overdose in 2016. He wants companies. When compared to other states, Oklahoma's drug overdose rate of 20.1 per 100,000 residents is near the middle of the pack, far below West Virginia's rate of 57.8, but much worse than Nebraska's 8.1, according to 2017 data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Overdose deaths from prescription opioids have plunged in Oklahoma since they peaked at 478 in 2012, according to state data. In 2017, the state's total number of overdose deaths continues to climb gradually, however, led in recent years by alcohol, methamphetamine, and illegal opioids such as fentanyl and heroin. In 2017, like more than 1,600 other states, cities, counties, Native American tribes and other groups that have filed lawsuits, Oklahoma contends that pharmaceutical companies sparked the crisis of the past 2 decades, ignoring the growing toll and, in some cases, deceptively promoting the drugs. Oklahoma is seeking a penalty in the billions of dollars to abate the crisis, alleging it will take as much as $17.5 billion across the next 20 to 30 years to compensate for the damage. Its single charge, the companies have asserted that they responsibly marketed legitimate narcotics approved by the Food and Drug Administration to quell pain and cannot be linked to deaths from illegal abuse of the drugs. In a statement released Friday, John Sparks, Oklahoma counsel for Johnson & Johnson and its subsidiary, Janssen Pharmaceuticals, said Janssen is confident it acted responsibly in the marketing and promotion of its products. It's FDA approved, with Bachman refusing to delay the Tuesday court date. Oklahoma's case is the first of more than 40 state lawsuits to come to trial and is being closely watched elsewhere. Purdue Pharma, the company widely blamed for sparking the epidemic with the 1996 introduction and promotion of its painkiller OxyContin, will not be seated among the defendants. The company, Mark McBride, an Oklahoma state representative from Moore, said many communities directly affected by the opioid crisis turned their attention away from the case in recent months when they learned most of the Purdue settlement would go to a school, rather than to localities. McBride and other, "I don't think people really understand that there is something like this going on," McBride said of the trial. The funds from the Becky Odell, executive director of Parents Helping Parents, a 1,200-member support group for Oklahoma parents of children with substance abuse disorders, said the members of her organization are keenly interested in holding drug companies responsible for the damage in Oklahoma. "What I hear is they should be held accountable," she said. "I think they just want." Austin Box was a star high school athlete in Enid, Oklahoma, where he suffered the first of a string of football injuries, his mother said. Gail Box believes that's all it took for her son to become addicted. He began after graduating on May 14, 2011, and returning home from a road trip with his father. Austin Box was found unconscious May 19 at a friend's home in El Reno. Medics and doctors Gail and Craig Fox have created a foundation in Austin's name, and Gail speaks at gatherings across the state about 4 times a month. She also served, "I will continue to beat myself up for not realizing how dangerous opioids were, and are," she said. "I want to send a
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.